Hello and welcome to Lakeshore Academy. My name is Tina and I am so glad that you are here with me. Now, as you saw in my description, I'm talking about what to do if your child hates school. Now, you have decided to homeschool, or this can even apply to ones in public school as well, but you decide to homeschool, and no matter what you do, this particular child or children do not like school. I mean, it's a tug of war every time you're trying to teach. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because I saw another mom in another homeschool group, and she asked that question. She was like, let's face it, no one does a video on ones who really hate homeschooling. So I said, you know what, I'll do a video for you about it. And to be truthfully honest, it was a struggle and tug of war with me at first when I first started homeschooling. And every day is not the same. Some days are beautiful, like they're wonderful. And then some days are like, oh my goodness, will this day ever end? What is going wrong? But let's be honest. Most kids do not like school. I don't know if it's something in a child's DNA or that for 90% of children, they just, no matter which way you do school, whether it's homeschool or whether it's public school or private school, they just don't like school. I just don't know what it is. But there are about 10% that do, though, so that's rare. But there are ways in which that you can help those students that just don't like school. There are ways that you can actually get them more engaged into the educational process. What I did with my son when he was having those issues, on his free time, I observed him. I watched him to watch what did he like to do when he have his free time. And I noticed different things that I watched what he watched on TV. I watched what type of music he liked to listen to. I watched what type of books when he was just reading just leisurely, or picture books or whatever it was, or games. I watched exactly what he gravitated towards. And then once I did that, I started trying to incorporate the things that I knew that he liked inside of the curriculum to make it more interesting to him. And then when I did that, the child that didn't necessarily like school started to get more interest in activities or aspects of the teaching process. Now, you can't make everything fun, but there are different things that you can do in order to make it less stressful and more appealing to a child that hates school. Some kids, they just don't like to be tied down, sitting down all day. So an easy fix for that is to just go outside or go to the library and let them do their work there. Sitting outside on your porch and doing the work versus sitting inside a closed-in house. Just different little things like that. And as a parent, it really, especially when you're homeschooling and you have a child that doesn't like school or hate school or have a strong dislike, it's really difficult for us because we have made so many different sacrifices in order to teach them at home, and you feel that it's a personal reflection of you and your teaching, and that's not the case. Like I said, just some children just don't like school. And you should never feel that's a reflection on you in some way, because it's not. It's just that you haven't found, or your child hasn't found their groove, so to speak, in what they really like, what they're interested in, and they'll find it. Just keep working at it. And one thing I caution with everyone is, if you have a child that's being very negative about the learning process, please do not go down that road of like trying to counteract what they're doing, their mood, projecting their mood and their attitude onto you, because you don't want the way that they're acting to affect your mood, because if it affects your mood, it's going to affect the way you teach. It's going to affect the way that the whole day can be like overrailed by the attitude, which is not always easy when you have a child that's going against you, so to speak, and you're just trying to help them and you're trying to show them that you love them and you're trying to teach them the best way possible, and then they're taking the negative route. It can be very, very difficult, but don't give up. Just try to be positive, and sometimes just step away from the situation. Take a deep breath. Whatever you're doing, pause, stop, regroup, find something that the child is interested in, and do it from there. Try to keep calm as much as possible. That's why I love essential oils, because when those moments come, I start diffusing some lavender, or I start diffusing some frankincense, or peace and calming, and it just changed the entire mood. Another thing that you can do for a child that hates school is you need to try not to take your child's attitude personally. And this can be very difficult because, like I said before, children do not think about the sacrifice mom and dad is making with homeschooling, nor do they care. In most cases, to be honest. So they don't see your sleepless nights, staying up late at night trying to plan what curriculum you're going to use, what activities you're going to use, what's going to really get through to them, your dedication. They don't see your dedication. They don't see the sacrifices. They just don't understand the whole gist of how much it takes to homeschool on that particular family or parent who's doing it. They just see the fact that I don't want to do school. So just try not to take, when your child is having a negative attitude at that moment, just try not to take it personally. Just look at it as it's something that's just a natural progression of children. They're just going to be children. Go back and think about when you was in school. Did you like school? Was it always naturally good for you? Just try to put yourself in that child's place and try to be positive. Sometimes when those moments happen with me, I just sit back, get my bearings together, and sometimes I actually go in and just stop and look and just smile. And be like, oh my goodness, sometimes I just need to pray a little bit and just to get through this day. Or sometimes I just like hug them. Or I just said, we need to just take a break. Let's just take a break for this moment because we're not getting anywhere. So let's just stop, regroup. You take your break, I take my break. I go, and then I get myself together, and then I go back and try again. Because it's not going to always be easy. Let me see. And then, because I wrote this stuff down because I didn't want to miss anything. Number 4, no matter what you're going through, don't give up. Because let's face it, life happens. When you homeschool, it's different from versus when your child's in public school. If you have a life situation that happens, or if you have some kind of thing that happens in the family, someone gets sick, a job loss, a death in the family, a death of a pet, because if you have a pet, they are family members as well, and it really affects not only the person whose pet it is, it affects the entire family. So you just need to take into account all the different life situations that can happen that can really change your homeschool, but you can make it get off track, so to speak, but you can get back on track. Just don't give up just because that child has a negative attitude. And some things with children, especially being that they're teenagers, some of you who, I'm having a teenager now, the hormonal changes and everything, you're trying to figure out what is going on. So they're going through changes, you're going through changes, so just don't give up. And let me see, what's another one? Another thing, this what really helped me when I was having that problem. I sat my child down, or children down, and I said, listen, your education is not just your education. It's a joint venture of this family. So take it seriously. You might not be working now, but eventually you will have to be productive and have a career or a job. And the things that I'm trying to teach you now is bigger than you not liking school. It's to help you in order so that you can be productive in life when you grow up. So it's not just, oh, mommy, I hate school. It's, oh, mommy, you're really trying to help me be a well-rounded adult. And that's what it is. And just break it down. Let them know, listen, this is not to torture you. This is to help you. And also, I sat down with my son and I asked him what he likes. And that might not necessarily be the things that I like. But when I start really opening up and talking to him, trying to see what he likes, what his interests, and let him know that his opinion is valid, his opinion is necessary, and that I want to learn from him as well as he's learned from me, the tug of war wasn't so bad, because I really was like trying to figure out how can I get through to this child. And so it really, that helped me. Like, for example, a breakthrough for me, my son loves playing video games, like different aspects, building, coding, and all that stuff that's like over the top of my head. So what I did was I sat down with him and I tried to understand this game. I tell you, I still don't get Minecraft to this day, people. But I sat down and I tried to have interest in the things that he has interest in, and he knows I have difficulty. I even tried to play the game, and I am just so bad at it. I mean, like, really bad at it. I mean, like, really terrible. That the kids was like so shocked, like, Mom, you're so good with school and books and this and that, but you can't play this game. And I'm like, some people just not good at certain things. But being that I showed him that what he's interested in, I'm invested in it too, and I'm trying, even though I'm not good at it and I don't like playing video games, but I'm doing it because I want to build my relationship with you and learn from things that you're interested in. It showed him like, hey, I know my mom can't stand video games, yet she's sitting down trying to learn how to play video games with me, or she's sitting down, taking time out her day, watching me play this video game. That was a breakthrough for me. So when it's time for school, he was like, Mom, if you could do all that, and I know it was, you do not like video games and you don't understand the concept of it. So when he saw that I did that, it made it more easier, and my daughter as well, it made it more easier for them to, when it came time for school, because they knew that that is their career. That's what I call it. That's their career right now. Your job is to do school. That's your job now. Just like mommy's job is to educate, nurture you, take care of you. We all have our different little careers right now. And this is your activity thus far. So those are some little tips that I have, that I personally had to deal with that mom who, I felt so bad for her when she said, well, what do you do when a child hates school? And I knew I personally had dealt with that as well. So I just want to tell you that it does get better. Don't give up. Don't take it personally when they are negative towards school. Most kids, 90% of children hate school, whether they're in public, private, or homeschool. Most of them do. You just keep doing what you have to do, and it will get better. So I'm just here to give you that motivation and encouragement to keep on doing it. And eventually you'll see how everything work out in the end. So again, this is Tina from Lakeshore Academy talking to you about what to do when your child just hates school. Have a good day, and I hope it helped. Bye.